Hi there, I'm Maria Esposito, a nutritional therapist and a craniosacral therapist, as well as the holistic therapist in general for mind, body, and soul. But today we're talking about a little bit about your baby and your baby milk, breast milk, if you specific to the breast milk right now, but also a little bit about your baby digestive system and from birth, what happens, what you're encountering, and how sometimes some babies have more colics than others, and this is due a little bit of what you eat and how you breastfeed, obviously, as well as part of their development, their growing, and each baby has to grow in different way. For example, premature babies, they grow a little bit, their digestive system and their tactile system kind of develops in a different way. So we talk a little bit about the milk, and for example, the full milk is the milk that the mother start producing. When is the mother start producing it, contains mainly water, protein, and antibodies. And the hint milk, which is the thicker one, the one that goes and the baby has to work a little bit more to get it at the end, is contains fat, vitamin A, E, and they both are important, both milk. So you need to make sure that that baby drinks the full milk and the hin milk together in one breast, and then you go to the other. They both contain lactose to help increase the good bacteria, which will grow nicely. And if it is too much, if it goes too quickly, and there is an accumulation of air and an increase for some reason or another, an overload of lactose, then the baby doesn't have enough of lactase, the enzyme that breaks down the sugar, to cope with all that lactose. And that is a combination, the combination of air, the combination of overload of lactose will cause like them to blow, to be uncomfortable, not to poo, or if when they start pooing, they just get either a very messy poo, an explosive poo, and then or sometimes even constipated, but they still feel very, very uncomfortable. They get it because it's like the pressure of that balloon presses on the stomach a little bit, and then they have reflux. And those two, the reflux and colic, I have little videos about it, and sometimes it depends on the digestion and the food that you eat, or if they're allergic or intolerant to, or there's too much for them, or even, as I said, the premature digestive system or overload of those the lactose. And in some way, also it could be shock from trauma, birth trauma, hormones from the mother, too many hormones as well that can be that there are detoxified, should be detoxified by the liver as well. But obviously, as the baby liver is not fully is functional, but it's very much slower, it's not big, so it's all a development. And with that, with the shock, with the trauma, craniosacral therapy is amazing, including the tight jaw, the tongue, not recognized after if you had a procedure like a tongue tie, which is a very small and but very important thing to do if they do have it, as otherwise it will be a problem with the speech and tightness of the the tongue is very much attached also to the neck muscle, and also to it can cause problem also to the muscle of the mouth and everything. So in a simple words, I've seen many babies just amazingly getting off and getting better I would suggest 3 sessions, because then as the system is like going out, getting rid of the trauma, adjusting, the brain recognizes also that has got space and it can relax and all the rest of it, and so all goes well. So going back to what the baby digestive system has got, the amylase enzyme, for example, to digest the starches and the sugar in babies, start being produced by the glands from 3 months old, and you will see at 3 months that they get drooling more from 3 months old onwards. So your enzyme will be also that will digest the milk, and what they need to digest the starches. The pancreas, which has got the enzyme, is not also fully formed, and the breast milk contains also amylase, lipase, and protease, the three enzymes that breaks down the milk. Now, if you are bottle fed, unless those enzymes are added to the milk, there isn't much. So it's a little bit, and if you can't breastfeed for some reason, you know, that's what it is. So it might be that they're a little bit more constipated, or react to the cow's milk. Sometimes mothers can actually have instead of the drinking of the milk can affect the baby as well, if they're breastfeeding. And if that's the case, goat milk, if the mother drinks goat milk, seems to be much easier. Lipase in babies also, to digest the fat, it also starts at 6 months to a year. So up to 6 months, the lipase, the fat in the mouth, is not digested as much. In the stomach of the baby, it's a little bit high, is not as low, so it's about 7 pH on pH, and for the first 24 hours, and then it goes down to 3 to 5, and I think the first 24 hours, the colostrum, the first few days, so it's actually quite good that it's that high, and it's easy at that point, 3.5. It's easy to digest carbohydrate, protein, and fat directly from the small intestine to the bloodstream. And the first 2 weeks also, the so-called, I hear, people telling me, doctor says that they're constipated because they digest everything. Actually, it's only the first 2 weeks that the gaps in the intestinal tract are not closed, and therefore the milk goes into the bloodstream directly. But then after 2 weeks, and that is when the colic starts happening, because that is where the enzyme, the lactose enzyme, is made by, they're called brush borders, so they're little brushes on top of the small intestine that they start forming and secreting that lactase. So, and that is when that happen, then if it's not enough, or it's not it takes time for the small intestine to start building those brushes, and it might be not enough for some babies. That's what I'm saying. So seems like, and this is all research stuff, so the breast milk goes a little bit faster from the stomach to from the stomach to the small intestine in bottle milk babies. Hence the bottle milk baby fed might tend to sleep a little bit more because they feel fuller. But the tendency, as I said, they might have a little bit more constipation than the others. Bile salts, which is the one that breaks down the fat in the breast milk, is in the breast milk to help digest the fat, as well as the infant does not reabsorb the bile from the blood to digest the milk better. So till the digestive system and the liver system develops much better. Infant produce more carbohydrate, specific enzyme to digest the lactose and other sugars from breast milk and the milk. And as I was told before, baby also absorb more than from the large intestine than the small intestine due to closing of high permeability of the small intestine. What it means, which it does not last long. This means what I mentioned before. It's there is more absorption of nutrients, but again, it doesn't mean that they need to be constipated. They still should be pooing quite often. So the oligosaccharides, again, they're sugars in the mother milk, increases the friendly bacterial growth, and the bacteria helps to digest the food even further and and they do make some B vitamins and vitamin K. And but if your baby drinks more full milk, the hind milk, the full milk, remember, is the first milk and the hind milk is the fat one, the fat content of their feeding will be out of balance. Fatty substances are slow to digest as well. And because the full milk is usually lower in fat, it moves from your baby digestive system much quickly. It passes so fast that all the lactose in the full milk doesn't get enough time to break down and digest, and that's where the colic and the lactose overload happens, and hence diarrhea, bloating, and air. So the undigested lactose has nowhere to go but the large intestine, where it gets fermented and creates a lot of gas. This gas is the root of your baby imbalance symptoms as well. So the signs and symptoms of the full milk and hind milk imbalance is fastiness, feeding, gassiness, gas, frequent stools that are green, frothy and explosive, always seems hungry, because obviously the fat content will keep them more satiated, but the hind milk will go faster, and therefore they feel hungry and they want to feed more often. Crying, screaming, more appetite than usual, trouble sleeping. And the sucking comforts your baby and helps the gas to move through the digestive system. It kind of the sucking reflex. I usually ask mothers to even put a little finger, just a second suck the little finger. The dummy is your decision. I wouldn't do that, but if that's possible, it's just to open up the digestive system so that the baby can kind of get rid of some of the discomfort from the stomach or the large intestine stuff. And there is more that advice that I can give. I do work in North London. I work from other N15 and surrounding area, and some home visit as well, and Life by Margaret and East Finchley. So if you want to book an appointment either for the nutritional value of nutritional advice either when you're pregnant or after when you have a baby, and for craniosacral therapy, which again helps with that and makes life much easier for the baby and the mother. And quite often I see after this second on the second session, mothers and baby are doing absolutely much better, and they seem to be landed and much happier with each other as well. So it makes a huge difference, and it is a gift of life time. I've seen the babies that are treated. Some babies are treated later on in life, and there are amazingly calm, and the parents as well. So it's a change of a lifetime. I wish everybody could have that, and eventually, maybe if that happens, maybe life and the world will be much better place, actually, because it lasts for life. That settling, it just makes a difference, because I do work with adults, and quite often adults have still a pattern. Some, not all, but some adults have a pattern from when they were babies, the baby's trauma, or child from children, when they were afterwards, but quite often they had birth trauma, so either the mother or them, and that made a huge difference in some way or another. So my website is nutritionhealth.net, and if you do want to book an appointment, do look at my website, Maria Esposito, and give me a call.